Yeah, this tutorial looks at section 3.5, which is basically solving triangles given cos law, sine law, right triangles, Pythagorean theorem, cos, tan, and sine, and using everything that we know. They give you a really good table in the book, but I've just summarized it here quickly. The book table that you should follow, general strategy guide, I guess is the way to look at it, is on page 127, and they go into a bit more detail than I have here. But if you look at it, the first thing you want to do is if you have a right triangle, good. Then you just start by using Pythagorean theorem, tan, sine, and cos, and solve that way. The next thing you should check for is if you have three sides, you're going to be looking at using the cosine law to calculate one of the largest angle probably, and then finding the other sides and the other angles by using the sine law after that, or you could probably use the cos law again, but it'd be easier to use the sine law. If you have an included angle in two sides, that's another case of cos law use. There's where you would use cos law. If you have an included side with two angles, that's the sine law, or two angles with a side. That is also starting with the sine law. Okay. Then when you get to E, if you get into the ASS case, that's the ambiguous case. So then you have to go back to what we did in 3.4 and look at the checks on page 122 if it's given if they're giving you an acute angle, and look at those four checks. If they give you an obtuse angle, you look at the two checks and see which case it is, draw it out, and then work out using that method that we learned last section. If you have any three angles given but no sides, you can't solve the triangle, so don't worry about it. And of course, they mentioned in there as well, you shouldn't round anything off. You should leave it on your calculator, or rounding things off. Don't round, and it'll harm you in getting accuracy. So round off at the end, and make sure you draw careful sketches. So I'm just going to take a look at. I'm not going to do any real examples in this area because we've done a lot of examples already. But I've just got a quick case here. If I had this, how would I solve this? Well, is it a right triangle? Well, there's no angles given, so no. So then I would go, well, is it side, side, side? Yes, it is. So I would go, this would be a step 2 type triangle. Okay? So then I would just start with the cos law and so forth. I'm not going to do this example here, but we'll get some experience in class doing some of these. And if we're having some troubles doing it, I'll throw some tutorials up and put them on the Moodle site or on YouTube and connect them to our Moodle site so that we can look at them if we're having some troubles in class. But at this point right now, I'm just going to leave it at this stage. And our next tutorial is going to get into the last section, areas of triangle formulas that we have coming up. Oops. Guess I should center that.